Right, it's Tuesday the 19th, no actually it's the 18th of October. No, it's got to be the 19th because tomorrow's the 20th, and the reason I'm speaking to you now, and I put it off for a month or two actually, because I've wanted to say something about the government, you know, the Lib-Con government coalition, since they was talking about their 100 days in office, which was back in August or something like that. And then they've had all the party conferences and all of that kind of shenanigans. And then new revelations about House of Lords expenses, you know, Lord Paul and Baroness Udin and people like that, diddling the Parliament or the country out tens of thousands of pounds. And they're not the only ones, are they? Anyway, that's a bit of a distraction because I want to talk about Cameron, Nick Clegg. I met Nick Clegg, must have been 1998 when he was an MEP. He came here to where I live. And then the other guy who's just got in for the Labour, the Miliband guy. I thought he'd win actually. Ed Miliband, you know, put his brother's nose out of joint, but they can't accuse me of jumping on the Miliband wagon because I'm not in favour of any of the parties, be they Lib-Con, Dem, Labour or whatever. What I do notice though is we seem to be being governed now by a bunch of baby faces. You got Nick Clegg, he looks like he's just out of nappies. In fact, they're all like Boy Scouts in long trousers, aren't they? Cameron and what's the other guy now? Yeah, Miliband, Ed Miliband, all kind of from the upper echelons of society, whatever that might mean. You know, the elite classes, people who've been to Cambridge, Eton, Oxford, all these places, and then those bullies, Bullingdon Club people, you know, including that Johnson, Mayor of London, what's his name? Yeah, him. So, he'll name come to me in a minute. But they're all so, well, I mean, they give the appearance of being experienced and knowing what they're talking about and whatever, but, you know, they're ideologically driven, a lot of them. Perhaps not Nick Clegg, he seems to have dumped his ideology, but anyway. And they're talking about cuts. We've heard nothing but cuts. In a few hours' time, Chancellor George Osborne, he of the argument with Mandy, Peter Mandelson fame on that yacht with the Russian oligarchies, or whatever they were. I mean, all these things these guys get up to, and then they want to convince us that they're governing in our interest. So Osborne's going to stand up and say he's going to cut these, he's going to cut that, he's going to disenfranchise the poor. You know, what they're talking about today, chopping housing funding for social housing in half. I mean, it's just an attack on the poorer people, isn't it? Now, I wouldn't mind that. I mean, I could talk about clamping down on benefit cheats, the work shine, stuff like that. I think that's a good idea. I'm not against that at all. I think there are a lot of people taking advantage, and the system's so woolly that it's easy for people to do that. So yeah, tighten up on those things. But if you do that and still let these bankers and self-interested, greedy people like Fred the Shred pocket all the dough, throw all the debts onto the unsuspecting populace and the people, taxpayers, and the poor people who've been diddled out of their investments and pensions and all of that, if you're going to protect, as they surely will, the Conservatives, didn't they used to be called the Nasty Party? Well, why it used to be. If they protect all of these people who are lining their own pockets and feathering in their own nests like the blooming House of Lords MPs and the, let's not forget the scandal of the last Parliament, all the MPs, Brown himself had to pay, Gordon Brown that is, money back. They're all a bunch of people. this is a family channel, so I refrain from using some of the choice language that I might choose. Anyway, only thing to say about the budget is, yes, it may be necessary to cut back. The country's been living beyond its means. People have been diddling the benefit system. They've been diddling the richer people with the tax system, and I know they're trying to tighten up on that. And governments and MPs have been diddling the whole country. So everybody's on the fiddle. Reminds me of Nero. Didn't he play the fiddle when Rome burned? Talking about burning, what's all this about the defence review? And building ships that aren't any good because they can't take planes, and it's, you know, area jump jets and all this kind of thing. I mean, it's all baloney. I don't know. It makes you wonder, are we being ruled by men or mice? Anyway, let's hope you fare better in the budget than poor people. Bye for now.